Ron?
All right, hi, I'm Erik Olson. Welcome. And I'm going to talk to you about a couple things. But first, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I work currently with the town of Blacksburg, and my name is Erik with a K. I'm the transportation planner for the town, and that means a lot of things. One thing I mainly do is I help write grant proposals and papers, and I also help our director and other staff with presentations. And I love to network and talk about networking and going to conferences as well. So that's why I'm here today. Mainly what I'm going to talk about are three things. One is about what I call a pitch. You've heard before the idea of sales pitch. And then the other thing is the importance of networking and going to conferences. And then finally I'll wrap up with what I call 14 networking tips. I'll introduce PitchMan. PitchMan will talk about his tips that he has for going to conferences and networking in general. And of course, you guys feel free to ask questions. Anything comes up, just shout it out. So really, I want to just kind of plant a seed in your head and ask you, you can jot it down or just think about it. Why are you here now today? What kind of reasons were you wanting me to come today? I know you had emailed me a little bit about, generally what do you do before you go to a big conference, American Planning Association conference coming up in California. And then tips for students about what they can do to maximize that experience is sort of how I summarize what you wanted to know. And I'll talk a little more beyond that too, what you can do in small conferences or small meetings or even just locally here at school. So that's really what we want to talk about today, is having a purpose for everything you do, whether it's coming here to meet three of us, why did you come, all the way to the 1,000-person conference. Why would you want to even go to that conference? You may be presenting papers, that's pretty clear. I'm going to present my paper, but beyond that, that paper is just 10 minutes out of the whole 3 or 4 days. What else would you want to do there? Is there someone you want to meet? Is there a certain workshop you want to attend? There may be what's called a technical group or a committee or something else you want to get involved with or even find out about. So you got to think about what your purpose is for those kind of meetings. And then we'll talk a little bit here in detail about what a pitch is. So a pitch is a sales pitch. It's really an elevator speech that you can give in 30 seconds. And the idea for having a pitch like this and having it planned ahead of time is so that if you are at these conferences and you meet people, you can tell them in 20, 30 seconds what it is, who you are, where you go to school, if that's appropriate at that time. Maybe you talk about your job as well or instead. And then one or two kind of responsibilities you have in that situation, that especially if it relates to what you're talking to that person about. Say they're a potential employer, and they're looking for a planner in comprehensive planning. Hi. So you may talk about those two specific things. There's two specific responsibilities that you do that are related to that person and what they do. Then you might kind of throw those into your pitch as well. And then, of course, in the end, you want to repeat your name again if you can, and kind of make sure that they know who you are, and if possible, get their information from them through business card exchange. So I'll talk through a pitch briefly and kind of the components, and I'll introduce you to my friend PitchMan. PitchMan, as you can see, has feet, he has legs, he has arms and a body, and then he has a head, of course, and then he has a closing action question. So there's 5 parts to PitchMan, and I will hand out a diagram of PitchMan for you guys in the audience here. And feel free to write on these. They're yours. So PitchMan is just a silly, dorky thing I came up with a couple days ago, actually. And he was inspired by someone I met while I was at the elevator, and I snapped his picture, and he had a green shirt on. And anyways, he inspired me for this. So as you see, his feet there have his name and his organization. That's where you start. And this is sort of my version of what a pitch might be made of. If you look on the internet, there's all kinds of versions of pitches. Obviously, if you're selling something to a crowd, that might be a little bit different slant on it. This is kind of a generic thing that can be modified for meeting somebody or introducing somebody, or maybe even doing a sales pitch. In a sales situation, of course, your closing question would be, can I have your sale today? If not, why? And my question today, at the end of my little informal pitch today was, why are you here? Just kind of planting that seed in your head. So again, we start with the feet. You want to say your name and your organization. In my case, it's Erik from Town of Blacksburg, so you kind of put the framework in that you know I'm with Town of Blacksburg. I forgot to say I'm with Blacksburg Transit, but we'll get to that in a second. In my case, I could probably just say my first name, because it's just a couple of us here. I have my name tag, which I might be wearing at a conference, and it's ideally like this one. It's got just your name, your first name in large letters, so it's relatively easy to read. When you're meeting 20, 30, 40 people in a quick meeting, first names is usually all you can really get away with remembering, you know. So generally I say first names, especially if I'm a name that people may not remember or may have some trouble pronouncing. So that's just kind of my take on it. Second part of them is the legs, and that's, in my case, the position and department. So I'm a transportation planner with Blacksburg Transit, which some people may not know is actually a department of the Town of Blacksburg. A lot of people at Virginia Tech think it's part of Virginia Tech. So again, it's just another way to kind of formalize this discussion and introduction of yourself to somebody. And then of course we next have the arms, which are connected to the body. In this case, for the arms, I just pick out 2 responsibilities. I call them responsibilities, you can call them tasks, you can call them things I do, whatever. But one responsibility I have, of course, like I said, is writing grant proposals and papers. So that shows you quickly, hey, I write stuff. And the second one is I help people present stuff. My director gives presentations to the town councils of Christiansburg and Blacksburg all the time, as well as people in Richmond and elsewhere. So I sometimes am helping her do presentations. So that's 2 of my responsibilities. I also plan bus routes and lots of other things, but I just want to give you a quick overview of 2 of the things I do that are, in this case, relevant to this situation. And then, of course, the body is sort of the demonstration of those 2 responsibilities. And I kind of weaved it in there in my case, but I said, you know, I help my director with presentations all the time to town councils. That's sort of a quick little, 15-word demonstration of those 2 responsibilities. Of course, as you can imagine, when you're doing a presentation, you're generally have some kind of paper or press release along with it, so I'm obviously doing some writing as well. So in my case, it's writing, grants, etc., and it's presenting, sort of meshed together. And then, I may or may not have done this, but especially if you have 20, 30 seconds, and you're literally in an elevator meeting somebody for the first time, you want to say again, oh, great meeting you again, my name's Erik with the Town of Blacksburg, and I'm just curious, can we meet for coffee sometime? That would be might be your closing question. Simple like that. Or, can I get your business card? That might be the question. Here's mine, can I get your business card? Are you going to be around this whole week? Can we meet for lunch tomorrow, if you're really interested in that person? Or if it's just casual, just say, oh, I look forward to seeing you again. So PitchMan is just sort of a simple way to kind of give you a picture in your head of how this works. Think about his feet, his legs, arms and body, and then his head. And of course the head is where you repeat your name, you repeat your organization, and then you ask a question. So is that relatively clear? What I was hoping to do briefly is just take a quick little exercise and go through this with 2 of you. And you can come up with whatever you want, but and we can pause it here if you want. Pause the video.
Okay.
We'll do a PitchMan practice.
Okay.